Hello everyone. Today we are going to be learning about stem changing verbs. We're going to be reviewing the stem changing verbs. So here we go. These are the stem changing verbs. First of all, what are stem changing verbs? Stem changing verbs are verbs that have a change, that have something different than the regular verbs. Yes, these stem changing verbs are irregular because they have something that is totally different than the regular verbs. For example, the stem changing verbs have a change in the stem. The stem is the first part of the verb. As you can see here on the screen, Q-U-E-R is the beginning of the verb. That's the stem. And ER at the end of here, right here, this is the ending. Okay, all verbs end with AR, ER, and IR verbs. So this is the ending. So the change that we are talking about happens in the stem, in the beginning of the verb. Okay, the actual verb is querer, right? So there's going to be a change here. Most likely is going to be an addition letter or a substitution of a letter. For example, querer. The verb querer has stem changes. You keep the U and you keep the I, but right between the U and the A and the E, sorry, U and E, between the U and the E, you put in an I, and you still conjugate it according to the subject, depending who is doing the action. So you say quiero, quiero, yo quiero. Do you see the stem change? The change happens right here. The letter I is an addition to the verb querer. That's the stem change. And it goes on and continues all the way except in nosotros. For example, for you, we'll say tú quieres. You conjugate the verb still based on the subject, right? It's an ER verb, so the ending is ES. And you still have your stem changing right here. As you can see, is the letter I and the letter E. Quieres. Él quiere. Ella quiere. The stem change happens right here in the beginning of the verb, and at the end you still conjugate it, you still change it based on who's doing the action. Okay, queremos is the only place that these verbs don't have stem change. Right here, as you can see, there is no stem change in queremos. Okay, again, there is no stem change in the verb in nosotros form. When you go to queréis, also vosotros does not have a stem change. Nosotros and vosotros. And it goes back to ellos, ellas, and ustedes. As you can see, the change is right there. Okay? The E is added. And still conjugate the verb based on who's doing the action. Will be ellos. The ending for ellos, ellas, and ustedes will be en. En. Quieren. Again. Yo quiero, tú quieres, él quiere, ella quiere, usted quiere, nosotros queremos, there's no stem change in nosotros, vosotros queréis, there's no stem change in vosotros, and ellos, ellas, and ustedes quieren, and there's a stem change again. The same thing happens with the verb poder. Poder means to be able or to can, okay? So notice how the stem is the beginning of the verb, which is all the way here, P-O-D, and the ER is the ending. So you don't do anything to the ending, you just drop it and conjugate it based on the subject. Basically, if I'm doing the action, you're doing the action, okay? So the O changes completely. You remove the O and you put a U-E, U-E. You see the stem change right here? The U-E. Puedo. Yo puedo. I can. I'm able. And you do the same thing for all of them. You remove the O, put the UE. This is only in the present tense. Puedes. Tú puedes. Él, ella, and usted puede. Again, because it's an ER verb, the yo is an O. For tú is ES. For él, ella, and usted, the ending is E. And the stem change is UE. Puede. Él puede. Ella pueda. Puede. Usted puede. He can. She can. You formally can. What happens in nosotros? As you can see, this part right here, it's shaded differently. It's in yellow, right? Well, nothing happens, okay? There's no stem change in nosotros form. As you can see, the O is there, the original O. And you will obviously put the ending for nosotros, which will be for ER verbs, hemos. Podéis, also, vosotros does not have a stem change, as you can see. Then you go back to ellos pueden, ellas pueden, ustedes pueden. They can, okay? You all can. The UE is there. So, querer has an addition in the stem change. In other words, the I goes between the U and the E. You put an I in there, quiero. And poder changes completely, the O changes completely to a UE, puedo. Servir is similar. The only difference with servir is that you are going to get rid of the letter E and you're going to substitute it with the letter I. The letter I in Spanish sounds I, okay? I. Short. Sirvo. Yo sirvo. Tú sirves. Él sirve. Ella sirve. Usted sirve. Nosotros servimos. There's no stem change. You can see right here. It's the same E as in the original form, in its infinitive. E. Vosotros servís. There's no stem change in vosotros either. Ellos, ellas, ustedes sirven. As you can see, the I is there again. Okay, the I, sirven. They serve. So, to recap, stem changing verbs have a change in the beginning. Okay, why are there stem changing verbs in languages? Well, there's irregularity. Sometimes they help you pronounce words better. Also, there are so many influences of different languages coming into a language that sometimes they change the pronunciation and the spelling of a verb. Okay, what is the difference between regular and irregular verbs? Well, the regular verbs, they follow a pattern and they never change. Irregular verbs, they have something different. It changes either in the yo form or changes somewhere else in the conjugation. Could be in tú, could be in él, ella, usted, could be in vosotros, in ellos, ellas, ustedes. But most irregular verbs don't have a change in the nosotros form. Okay, so that's something to remember. Okay, so now let's go to the activity 24. This activity is to complete this email. This is an email sent to Roberto, and here what you have to use these verbs. All of these verbs have a stem change. The O here, this one, almorzar, which is to eat lunch, has a change to ue, similar to the verb poder. Notice how this one has an O, the O changes to a ue. Well, almorzar, which is to eat lunch, has the same change. Costar also has the same change, okay? Changes the O here in the beginning of the verb, this one right here. It changes to a ue, cuesta. Pensar, this one right here, has a stem change, which is similar to servir, as you can see right here. So what's gonna happen is that you're going to change the E to an I. Piensa, pienso. What happens to poder? Poder has a similar stem change as almorzar, okay, which is an ue, changes to ue, puedo. We went over that one. Querer is the same one that I told you about. You're just going to add an I between the U and the E, and you're going to substitute, obviously, the ending, right? Quiero, quieres, quieren. Volver. What do you think is going to happen with O, the letter O? It's going to be similar to poder, which is ue. Vuelvo, vuelves, vuelven. So what you're going to do here in activity 24, you are going to select one of these verbs. You are going to make the stem change, and you're also going to conjugate it, okay? So it says, hola, ¿vas al concierto? Are you going to the concert? Yo, ir. what would you put in here? Well, I want to go. How would you say that? The verb is querer. Yo querer ir? No, that would be incorrect, right? So you will say the U and the, you're going to add an I between the U and the E. You put an I there. And because it's yo, you're going to write yo quiero. Yo quiero ir. Pero no, but I can't. How do you say I can't? Here we go. Poder. But you're not going to leave it like that. You're going to change this O to a UE. Yo no puedo, pero no puedo, right? So next one. Mi hermano tiene el coche. Y él no. Volver will be the verb because he says, my brother has the car, but he doesn't come back until tomorrow. Volver is to return, to come back. So the O changes to, yes, you got it, UE. And because it's him that he's doing the action, the N is an E. No vuelve hasta mañana. Catalina is a she, is ella, right? So you're going to find the form of the ella for depending of the verb. Catalina, que el concierto va a ser fantástico. Catalina thinks. How do you say to think? Right here, pensar. So what's going to happen to this? The E is going to change to an I completely, right? And you're going to drop the R. And you will say, Catalina piensa que el concierto va a ser fantástico. Catalina thinks the concert is going to be fantastic. Pero ella no ir tampoco. Tampoco means neither. So she can't go either. How do you say to go? She can't. She can't. So it will be poder, right? So the O right here is going to change to an UE. And you're going to drop the R. No puede ir tampoco. That would be that one. Las entradas, number 6, 50. The tickets cost. So that would be this verb right here. What happens to this O? It changes to a UE. And you're going to drop the R. Cuesta. Las entradas cuesta. But because there's more than one, it will be cuestan. Las entradas cuestan $50. Con $50, mi familia y yo will make it us, right? A group of people. So it will be we. El restaurante Samba. Con $50, my family and I can eat lunch in the restaurant Samba. How do you say to eat lunch? Correct. Almorzar. So what happens to this thing changes right here? This changes to an UE. But wait a minute. It's we, right? Nosotros. Is there a stem change in nosotros? No, there is no stem change. So you will write, mi familia y yo almorzamos en el restaurante Samba. You do not make a stem change here because it's nosotros. Okay? You click here and then you complete the assignments. You correct. You write the correct forms. It gives you that option. And right here says complete that same ones what I just told you to do. And all you gotta do here is you have to rewrite the entire thing, put in the correct form of the verb. So in activity 25, what you're going to do, you're going to answer these questions, okay, 6 questions. And all you have to do is change, because it's asking you from the U form, you're going to change it from the U form to the I form, yo. So you will say, for example, this question is asking you, ¿Cuántas horas duermes? So do you see this this verb right here, duermes? This is in the U form, right? ES. So duermes, it has a stem change, right? You're going to change that to the yo form and saying, I sleep, how many hours you sleep, okay? So that's exactly what you have to do. ¿Cuántas horas duermes? How many hours do you sleep? You will say, I sleep 14 hours. That would be nice, right? I sleep 8 hours. Would make a lot more sense. So you will write here, you will click in the questions, and ¿Cuántas horas duermes? How many hours do you sleep? You will say yo, you change it to yo. Duermo, I sleep 8 horas, period. And that's what you will have to do for each one of them. You change it from the you to the yo form, okay? So that's what we're doing today. And if you have any questions, please let me know. See you in class in a few minutes.